Hello again, lovely people. Today I'm going to share with you a recipe out of this well-used and much loved handwritten recipe book owned by my sister and I. I started writing recipes down in this book, I believe, in the year 1973, and somewhere along the line, my sister took over and also did the same. I'd say her handwriting was much better on the eye than mine was. And we practically spent almost every afternoon in my grandmother's kitchen experimenting and trying out recipes and also making up our own. This cake recipe that I'm about to share with you is one of the first few recipes that we ever tried. And to this day, I'm amazed at how well it turned out, as back then, we did not even own a kitchen scale to weigh out the ingredients. We found some ingenious method out of the British Woman's Own magazine, if I remember correctly, that taught us the measurements of ounces by the tablespoons. And for cup measurements, we had our coffee cup or teacups to help us buy. By and large, we had a great time. There were some disasters, bloops and blunders along the way. This cake recipe that I'm about to share with you here came from a classmate of my sister's, and it was sent to her by a pen pal from New Zealand. Now let's go to make our cake. Let's take a look at the ingredients here. We have here all-purpose flour, butter, sugar, full cream milk, desiccated coconut and ground almonds, 2 eggs, salt and baking powder, some glacé cherries, flake almonds, some grated lemon rind, and vanilla paste. I'm now going to add the butter to the mixer. The sugar goes in as well. And the vanilla paste. And now we're going to whip everything up until we get a nice creamy batter. We'll start first with a lower speed and we'll increase the speed gradually until we get a very light colored batter. It should look like this. And then we'll stop the mixer so we can scrape down the sides and the bottom to get everything evenly mixed. This is how it should look like. Now I have just scraped down the sides and the bottom. So we will now start the mixer again. Starting at lower speed, we'll gradually increase it to medium speed. And we will be adding in the egg yolks, lightly beaten, a little at a time, until it gets all well mixed into the batter. I will again stop the mixer for a bit, just to scrape down the sides and the bottom, just like so, and then we can put it back onto the mixer. That looks about done now. So I'm going to put it back onto the mixer. And then we will add the lemon rind, and I'm also going to sift the plain flour with the baking powder and salt, like so. And that goes into the mixer too. Next, the milk goes in. And we're going to whip it up until you get a nice, creamy, fluffy batter. All done on a medium to high speed. Once you get something that looks like this, you can stop your mixer and just scrape down the sides and the bottom for the last time before we whip it up again for about a minute. And then it's done. Next, we're going to add in the cherries. I'm not adding in all, I'm just adding in half. The other half later I'll use for the topping. I am using here a well-greased and floured 6.5-inch pan. It's a small cake, so you can use either a 6.5-inch to a 7-inch pan to bake this cake in. Now let's smooth out the top of the batter, and then we'll put this cake mixture aside while we prepare the topping. Now I've got the 2 egg whites here that we had separated earlier on from the yolks, and I'm just using an electric whisk here, which makes the job easier. Beat till frothy, add in the sugar, continue beating till all the sugar has dissolved in there, and until you get nice soft peaks, not too stiff. We don't want the egg whites to dry out. I'm putting it into a small bowl so I can add all the other ingredients to it. That's how it should look like. Now I'm going to add in the ground almonds and the desiccated coconut to this. Because I have freshly grated desiccated coconut, I have used the brown skin as well because I like the nutty flavor it gives. So I'm just avoiding some of that little big pieces of skin that went in there together. And this is half a tablespoon of lemon juice. Then I'm going to mix it all into the egg white. Just gently fold everything in, and then we can spoon it all over the cake batter. Like so. You can just spread it out lightly. And I'm going to throw on some of the glacé cherries that I left behind for the topping, and those flake almonds go on too. That is just a yummy topping, I tell you. And now it is ready to go into the oven. So I'm going to bake this cake at 180 degrees, and we'll check on it after 45 minutes. After around 50 minutes or so, your cake will come out looking like this. So nice and golden brown with that fluffy topping. And now that the cake has cooled for an hour or more, I'm going to cut into it and show you what one slice of this yummy cake looks like. You won't be disappointed. If you wanted a larger cake, you could double the recipe with no problems. Let me show you what one slice looks like. Look at that moist, buttery texture and that lovely, fluffy coconut topping. It will be worth your while trying out this cake recipe. Look at that gorgeous texture. I'm now going to have some for tea. Yum! That combination of ground almonds, glacé cherries and flaked almonds, desiccated coconut makes for a delightful combination. And I had such a good time reliving those memories of baking with my sister in my grandma's kitchen. I had such a wonderful time too presenting this recipe to you. Thank you for stopping by, folks. Do like and subscribe and hit that notification button on your way out.